Now, have you ever wondered how to add icons to your Elementor forms? Now, for some reason, it's not a feature where we can go ahead and select an icon and add it to an individual field. I don't know why they haven't added that as an option yet. I know that there are a bunch of plugins that allow you to do that, but you do have to pay for them. But in this video, I'm going to be able to show you how to add icons to your forms using some custom CSS for free. Now let me go ahead and show you guys what we're going to be building. So I created this form here where we're able to actually add icons to our individual fields. So as you can tell, it works really seamless. It's completely mobile optimized. So it works pretty much on any screen size. I can move it to basically whatever and it's going to work perfectly. I can just type away and everything works. Now, if you do end up finding this video helpful, make sure to squash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Now, I hope you guys enjoy. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm already in the Elementor editor. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a form here. I'm going to drag it right into this box. And then I'm going to add a few more fields. So I'm just going to add a phone number. And then I'm just going to rename these here. And then I'm going to go into advanced. And this is very important that whenever you're setting up your fields, if you're adding new fields, that you name them. Because in order for us to add our icons, we're gonna need to make sure that our ID is set up to the right name. So for this one, I'm going to call it phone. And as you can tell, the rest of these are pretty much already set up. They already have their ID and it's all named accordingly. So email, and then this one is message, right? So everything's set up. So that's very important that you have that set up there. So I'm going to go ahead and I want my fields to be, at least some of them, be side by side. So I'm going to set, actually, I think I'm going to leave the name as is, and then I'm going to go ahead and split up the phone and email. So I'm going to do 50 here, and the email is also going to be 50 as well, just so that I can show you guys that example on how that's going to turn out. All right. So now that we got that set up, we can go ahead and actually start adding our icons. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just adjust my spacing here really quick. So let me just adjust the spacing. Oops. For my label actually. And then I also want to do my rows as well. So I'm going to split that up just a little bit. Not too much here. I think that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add some little style to my form here. To my fields. I'm going to do about 2. And then I'm going to remove the border radius. And I think that will probably match the website design a little bit better. There we go. I like using black. It kind of just works with anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this. And let's go to see how that looks. All right, so that's looking, let's see here. All right, so that's looking good. So now let's go ahead and add our icons here. And in order to do this, we need to use some CSS. So head over to advanced and then go into your custom CSS. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and move our placeholder text a little more to the right, just so then we can fit our icon right here, right at the start of our field. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my CSS here, and I'm just going to grab the CSS that's going to move the placeholder text over. So it's going to be this one here. And then we're going to go to advanced and custom CSS if we're not in there already. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. And as you can tell off the bat, it's going to move everything over. Now, obviously for you, some things will get moved over, but if you have a lot of fields already added, we do have to adjust this. So let me go ahead and give you guys an example here. So I'm going to go to my content and I'm going to add a new field. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and copy this one. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to add a URL and I'm going to have it be a website. And my placeholder is also going to be a website as well. And just for the purpose of this, I'm going to make this full width, 100%. There we go. All right. So let me go back here. And as you can tell, everything else is moved over except for this new field. Now, how do I add spacing to this new field? Well, it's really simple. Let me break down the CSS code here. So don't worry about this. This is just selecting this form here. It's this part here that we have to actually have to worry about. Because as you can tell, it says Elementor field group email input. Email, right? Email, because that's the one that we're using. That's this email here. And then we have name, as you can tell. And then we have phone number. And then we have message, which is our text area. So now we need to just go ahead and add one for our website. So what I like to do is just pretty much copy this one here, which is already created. And we're just going to duplicate it. And just instead of having email, we're going to do name. And I'm going to go ahead and add it right after the phone input here. I'm just going to paste it in here. Now we just need to make sure that we add a comma to this. There we go. Now everything's back to how it was, in case you're having that issue. So let me space this one out so you guys are not confused. So there always needs to be a comma right after your CSS class here. So now we just need to remove this part here. And hopefully this isn't too confusing. And we're going to go ahead and type in website. Now this might not work because I didn't set the ID to website. Remember, I mentioned that we have to do that. So now let's go back to our field, go to advanced. And as you can tell, my ID is set to field 84 and all these other. So we want to just set this up to website. So if it doesn't work just instantly, guys, make sure you do refresh it. Obviously there was that issue where it didn't even work, and it's because we actually need to refresh a page. So as you can tell, now it's working and we have it spaced out. That is very important, so please keep that in mind. If it doesn't work right away, just make sure to refresh it, okay? All right, so now that we have those spaced out, the next thing that we need to do is add a box, and then within that box, we're gonna add our icon. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my CSS, grab some more CSS. And the next one we need to grab, and as you can tell, I named every single one here. So this one is our icon box settings. So it's our icon box, not our icon settings, right? If it was just our icon, it would just be called icon settings. But this is our icon box. It's where we're gonna place our icon inside of. Now you don't have to have a box for your icon. Sometimes obviously it's not really necessary, but I like to just add that in there. But I'll go ahead and kind of show you guys after this part, or after the main part, how to remove the box. So now I'm going to go ahead and add this CSS here. As you can tell, everything gets placed in the right position. As you can tell, I still need to maybe line this up a little bit, but let me show you guys an example just in case. Let's say some things were kind of moved a little bit over. And it just depends. Or you know what? Because sometimes, let me go back to my CSS here. Sometimes your position will be not the best, right? Let me just set this up to whatever it may be, and set this up to like 2 or something, right? Let's say you're having this issue and it's moved over. Well, not to worry. What you need to do is go into your icon box settings, CSS right here, and we need to go ahead and adjust the positioning. So from the left side, we can tell we want to kind of move that to about 7, I think it was, or even 7. As you can tell, it's too much. So we might even want to do 6. And I think 6 might do it. So we'll leave it at 6. And then over here, we want to bring it down. So maybe we can go ahead and do about 15. So that's not working. 18. And then you can kind of see the gist of it. The higher number, the lower it's going to go, right? So I'm going to do about 20. I think it was about 28. I kind of forgot, actually. So it looks like it was about 28. That's fine. Now, as you can tell, and that's why I added this extra field, because you're going to have that issue. So as you can tell, we don't have our box right over here on this field here. So we need to go ahead and add that box in there, and it's very simple. So it's pretty much the same method that we used over here. We're going to go ahead and just use it right in here as well. So we need to go ahead and locate the CSS class that's targeting each of these fields. So as you can tell, it's this one here. It says after email, Elementor field group email after. It's very similar to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. And then I'm going to paste it right over here. I'm going to add a little spacing and paste it right in. There we go. Remember, we always want to make sure that we have a comma right after. After. But anyway. And then we want to just go ahead and type in website for this one here. And that's going to target this field, as you can tell. So we just created another one. So each class here is going to target an individual field. All right. So now that we have our box set up, we need to go ahead and add our icon. So go into the description here, or if I linked it out to my website, we're going to go ahead and grab this one. This will be the next one. Now, like I said, they're all named, so then you know exactly what to use. So we use this one, and then now we're going to go ahead and add this one here. Now this is the icon size and positioning settings. Now if we don't have an icon if we don't have an icon set for our field, it's not really going to show anything, so we might not see anything right away. So I'm going to go ahead and just paste this right under here. Now we're not going to see, like I said, we're not going to see anything, any changes to this yet, but once we start adding our icons to our individual fields, we'll start to see something. So let's go back, and this is probably one of the most important parts. So each one of these, you can tell, is set to your field. So I'm just going to grab this one, then I'm going to paste it right under here. As you can tell, it's going to add an icon to my email. Now this is already named, so it says change icon here, but you could also name this as, you could change this to email icon, however you would like, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now. So that's fine with me. And then now what I'm going to do is I could either go ahead and just paste another one, and then just add it to maybe my phone, but I'm just going to copy and paste this one here. As you can tell, it's not going to do anything, but if I were to go ahead and change this last portion here right after group and the dash, and we put let's see, phone, you notice now phone will get that icon, but obviously we don't have the right icon here. Now if you do want to change up these icons, it's very easy. Just go into font awesome. Now by default, Elementor already has font awesome installed, so you don't need to go ahead and install it into your WordPress or Elementor. You just need to go ahead and find your icons. So right here I'm going to go look for phone, and I'll link this down below just in case, but you guys can just, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know what font awesome is. So we can just go ahead and click on this one. Make sure you grab the ones that are free, of course. So I'm going to grab this phone number icon, and then I'm going to grab this little code right here. So go ahead and just copy that, click on it by copying it. And then what we can do is make sure you have this slash though. So it has to be a slash, and then after that we can add the code here. And as you can tell, it's going to add that icon of the phone number. So that's perfect. So now that you know how that works and how I got the icons for every single one, I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of the ones that I have here, just so then we can speed this up a bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one, grab all of them, and I'm probably just going to replace the ones that I added. Then I can add all the icons. And there we go. So it's pretty much the exact same process that I did earlier. Each one is tagged to each field. So as you can tell, this one goes to the email, this one goes to the name, this one goes to the phone number, and then this one goes to the message. But we're just missing one right here, website, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this one, and then I'm gonna paste it down here. And instead of message, we're gonna go ahead and do website. We haven't added this, so that's why it's very important that we go ahead and add this to our icon size and positioning settings. So it's not in here, as you can tell, and that's why I like to go ahead and just kind of run through these little scenarios here. So what I need to do is just go ahead and copy one of these classes like we've done before. I'm gonna go ahead and copy it. And whenever I copy this, just make sure that you also get the comma there as well. And then I'm gonna add a space here and just paste it in. And then instead of email, we're gonna do website. And there we go. All right. But the issue is that we don't want to add this little message icon or this bubble message icon. We want to go ahead and add maybe a URL icon. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in URL. And let's see what we can find here. Maybe we can do link. There we go. So let's go ahead and just use this one here. Or we can even use the other one. So actually, I kind of like this one better. The external link. So let's go to just copy this code and let's replace it right after the slash. And there we go. Perfect. All right, now if I were to go to update this. And don't worry, the cool part about this is that we don't have to mobile optimize anything. It's automatically already mobile optimized for us and it works really well. So let me go into inspect and let me just show you guys that. So we can go ahead and adjust this and move this around. And there we have it. It's already all set and perfect. Now, in case I didn't go over this one that much, so this is basically the positioning for our icon. Let's say if our icon was not in the right spot, which does happen. Maybe we have this set to like 15 or something. You notice that our icon is not set in the right spot. Well, we can just go ahead and start adjusting this until we get it in the right spot here. So I think I had about 35. That's what that does. Yeah, it's about 35. And then let's say we need to move it maybe a little more to the left. You can move it all the way. As you can tell, you can't see it because I set it to 60. But if I set it to 20, you can see how it moves over there. So that's how that works. And then if you did want to adjust the font weight, which isn't that important, but in my opinion, I don't think it really does much to it. But that's just how we left it. And then you can also adjust the color of your icon as well. Let's say you want to set this up maybe to red or some other color. So you're able to do that as well. And the Z index, obviously, we always want that right above. So always want that set up to how it is. You don't got to touch that. And then if you want to adjust the size of your icon, you can do that here, just on the font size. Maybe set it to 60 or 20, whatever size you may want. But I'm going to set it to how it is now. And that's pretty much just going over the settings. Just absolute, we wanted at absolute, so just leave that how it is. You can just adjust those other ones there. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over basically how to add your how to have the icons without this box here. I know that sometimes we just want to have the icon and not the box. So what you want to do is just go ahead and remove remove this CSS right here. And as you can tell, we can't see our icons, but that's because our icons are white. So what we need to do is go into our icon size and position settings and just change the color here to black. Oops. There we go. And as you can tell, now that's set up. Now you can just make that a little bit bigger. So what I would do is maybe make this like 20. I believe that's a little bit too much. Maybe let's do like 19 or something. And then maybe we can no, actually it's pretty good. Maybe we can bring this from the top, maybe about 33 instead. There we go. And then we can go ahead and move our placeholder text a little more to the left. So let's go over here and we have our field box spacing. So, I'm probably going to rename this to a placeholder spacing. So we can probably do, instead of 50, maybe we could do 40. All right, so now that's much better. Now that's pretty much it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I haven't seen anyone make a video on this, which is kind of odd, right? I know that there are some plugins that do allow you to do this, but this is how you can do it for free. If this video really helped you guys out, make sure to squash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Now, as always, thanks for watching.